The story is not mine, but an acquaintance who worked as a psychologist with one family. A fairly young married couple consulted on the relationship with their son. The child was with special needs. A talented boy, rather reserved, he almost never spoke even at home. There were many questions and problems, but it is necessary to single out a separate aspect that corresponds to the topic. The boy spent all his free time in his room, which was something in between a workshop and an exhibition hall. Drawing, modeling from plasticine, clay, and wood carving. He had his own world, in which he was interested, but he had to contact the outside world and it could not do without conflict situations. Well, as a conflict, most often he was simply offended, but he did not answer this in any way, he simply silently left, locked himself in his room and did not come out for a long time. The result was another piece. Parents have always noticed that in the drawings and crafts of the child you can recognize specific people. The strange thing is that after the conflict, the boy made another such craft in the form of his offender, and after that he could hold it in his hands for a long time. There were some situations when some kind of trouble happened to the offender after that. For example, when in the first grade they made crafts from acorns in the form of little men, a classmate managed to steal the best acorns along with hats. The craft was still made from what was left, but there were not enough acorns for one leg, and it was made from a broken pencil. A classmate was admitted to the hospital a week later with a broken leg. The teacher offended by an undeserved assessment. The plasticine figurine was thrown into a puddle near the house. The next day the teacher, in front of the whole school, could not resist on her heels and plopped into the puddle to the friendly laughter. In adolescence, disagreements with parents began. The father demanded help around the house was private, there was a lot of work, but the boy could not be sent out to the garden, he was all sitting, drawing, or sculpting something. At first, the mother defended, but then she agreed that at the age of 13 it would be time to break away from children's activities and help around the house. During this period, parents began to increasingly recognize themselves in the works of their son. Attempts to talk were unsuccessful. Mother, either from nerves, or from something else, began to feel unwell. I found drawings of my son, where she was depicted under droppers in a hospital bed and soon ended up there. Then for the first time she talked with her husband that her son's hobby scares her. While she was in the hospital, a father and son had a tough conflict. Not only does he not help around the house, he also did not want to visit his mother. The man in a rage smashed the entire workshop, throwing plasticine, pencils, albums. The boy was furious, he ran away and closed himself in a barn. It was in this barn that his mother found a flattened figurine made of clay, but after a traffic accident in which the head of the family almost died. It is not known how that story ended. The main thing is that the parents turned to a psychologist for help, hoping to establish contact with their child.